Hi, welcome to the Stockinette Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as Janitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It, and this is episode 121.
Woo-hoo.
Woot woot! How you been?
Good.
For all of y'all that are noticing that we are a day early, we are indeed a day early. Did not imagine the day earliness. We are headed to the Knitting Pipeline retreat.
Yay!
So we are road tripping on the day that I would normally be publishing the podcast.
Yes.
So we decided to go a day early. Woot woot!
Yes. And work is being persnickety or trickety.
Mm-hmm.
I have like at least 15 things to do before we leave, and they're all work related. So let's not even worry about the packing and all that other stuff I have to get done. That is, that's just stressed me out a little bit.
Yeah. But then once the day comes, it'll just be like, woot!
Yeah. Again, I just have to make it through the work day tomorrow. I'm not going to stress about it after 5 o'clock rolls around.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be off my plate. But that whole day, it's going to be like, I'm going to be pushing myself to get more done than
That whole day
the average
tomorrow,
person.
right?
Huh?
That day being tomorrow.
Yes,
right?
Wednesday.
Okay. I was like, you're talking about it like it's so far in the future. It's tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Yeah, have you given any thought to what you're packing as far as like what your knitwear?
I have a lineup of sweaters and hand knit socks. Don't have any shawls or anything else.
So Myrtle's coming?
Yes, it's got a caveat.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look at the arms if you see me in person. We discussed it earlier, right?
Yeah.
The bosoms,
Yeah.
they'll be
Look there.
Look there. Because I've been trying it on and it feels like I'm stretching it out to the max, and I don't know where that's coming from. I do have at least 10 pounds to lose, so
Have you been lifting snow? Working out?
Not that much.
Work out.
If anything, it's the opposite, because I've been dealing with illnesses. And since, you don't feel good to begin with, so you don't want to work out, and then you don't feel good, so you want that extra piece of candy, that's kind of my problem right now.
My husband, bless him, bless his cotton socks, he got tired of hearing me complain about wanting to work out, and so he has challenged me. And we are competing to see who can run the most miles before we go down to Branson for spring break.
Oh.
Which is like,
yeah, he's lickety split no time in.
Yeah, but he's not a runner, so like to me, I'm like, I'm gonna win this. But it would be like Matt challenging you, right? He's like, he puts in regular. I don't know.
No, it'd be like me challenging him, and he'd laugh at me.
Yeah, exactly.
He's the one that like during the summer will just be like, well, I only got 6 miles, and
yeah.
If you can put only in front of the phrase 6 miles, you get daggers from me. So, because that would be my outermost capability.
So his one advantage is that he runs on the treadmill, and I run outdoors, so it's been really nice. And so, except that I think that the land of 10,000 lakes came from when the snow thawed. There are puddles. I kid you not. I went running today. There was a puddle that was up to my calf that I was running through. And I have this like psychology about puddles. I have puddle psychology, where like you can tiptoe through it or you can try to go around it, but if you just run right through it, like the next one you're like, I'm already wet, and there's always a next one, right? Like you can't just do one puddle, tiptoe through one puddle and be done. It's like, no, there's going to be 5 more ahead. I'm going to end up getting wet anyway, so I just floor it through the puddles. But it was a little eye opener when one was up to my calf today. It was like, duh, and it's snow melt, right? So it's
Not
a little
a warm
crisp,
puddle.
full crisp. I don't know if I'd want to run through a warm puddle, but it does feel a little bit like swimming at that point, right? Like, am I running or am I swimming? But yes, so that's going on. So I thought that was really sweet of him because he appealed to my competitive nature and got tired of hearing me complain. So
yeah, the daylight savings did my workout in for the week. I mean, I just was so tired the morning that I should have worked out, but tomorrow's another day and I might still get on that treadmill.
Yeah, maybe it'll be nice enough in Illinois that we can
go outside.
Yeah, although it's supposed to get colder here again. Anyway, you guys don't care about our weather. You guys don't care about our weather. This seems to be like the weather segment lately, but we worked some running in there, right?
Yeah.
And then my husband has been sick.
Ugh.
Yeah, so I've been like, I don't want to be sick while I'm in Illinois. Can you not get me sick, please? Sorry, now I'm counting. I knew I shouldn't have picked up this, but that's okay. We don't have any administrati really, other than we have a self-striping KL going on. The prize winners from last week were snappy, hitting us up on the...
Same with the New Year's resolution cowl. Those people are already have their items whisking away to them as we speak.
Likewise on the self-striping, and I think all of the designer patterns have been gifted, and yeah, cool. Happy snappy. The color work, the stranded color work KAL continues to march forward, and self-striping, and we've got 2 reviews coming up. The Dream in Color has a new single ply fingering that they sent us to review called Jilly. Cool. Which I thought was fun because my mom's name is Jill. And I call her Jilly Beans sometimes. And then we've got the Botanical Knits too. Okay. By Alana Dacos that we'll be reviewing coming up, but that's not in this episode. So, do you have any FOs?
I have a hoe. Oh. I finished one of my mittens and blocked it. So this is its final state. I think that it looks nice and even now. And yeah, it has an afterthought thumb. And I didn't do any of it has modifications so it flips and it has an open thumb so that you can text or do things with your fingers and then flip it back on. But I just opted against that. I'd rather have a straight up mitten. So I made a straight up mitten. You know, you get to those parts where it tells you to start modifying and you just keep going.
You say, no, thank you.
Yep. So, that's one. And I have cast on the other one. No second mittenitis for me. That's it. Likewise. Everything else. Oh, I can mention in this segment that my Stitch Surfers are no more. They've been frogged. I think that I don't want to promise anything. I may attempt this again. It wasn't the pattern. It was just the combination of this yarn base and the pattern that I was just not exactly thrilled with. I think that it needs a heavier fingering weight. Just for me to be pleased with the way the join was working. And I'm sure that a lot of people just knit past it and then they get really happy with the way it's turning out, but I couldn't get past the toe without just hemming and hawing about it. So I was like, well, life's too short. Zoop, gone. These will just become some sort of plain, ordinary sock pattern. Nothing whiz bang or fancy. And probably no real stitch pattern to them either because they have the the wow factor in the way that they're dyed up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're saying nothing fancy, but I was gonna say anything that you knit with that's probably gonna look pretty fantastico.
Yeah.
It'll be a
I'll let the yarn do all of the talking for me. And yeah, so again, it wasn't the pattern. Everything seemed to be working once I got past that small hurdle of figuring out how to do the just the crossover to change back. But just with all that knitting and purling, you know, knitting one round, purling one round, I don't know. I just wasn't in it. It wasn't for me. And again, I had a problem. Yeah, I just felt like a thicker yarn base would be better.
Yeah. So basically your gauge, right?
Yes.
The gauge you were getting on that.
Yeah, I wasn't terribly thrilled with it. And I know that Stitch Surfer fame, Diane of Knittables, she was using a lot of socks that rock, and that is a lot thicker. So maybe I would be a lot happier if I used that yarn instead. So, but again, no promises, because you know I will have moved on completely, and then I will have to circle back around to it maybe next year, because
the urge has left.
Yeah. Something spectacular would have to happen for the mojo to come back for those. But
all right, I have a hoe and an FO and another FO. So I finished my HD Yarns Partying It Up socks. This is their Circles colorway. And so yeah, I had the last one last week, and somebody sent me a PM that cautioned me that theirs, they had put them through the washer like mine, like I had mentioned on the podcast that I often do, and that I should be careful with them. And so I turned them inside out and hand washed them, and they have done well. So these might be a hand wash pair, just because the base might, I mean, it's a really super soft base. I could see it kind of felting with some harsher treatment, much like I don't know, an MCN or a, you know, although the nylon in an MCN wouldn't. I used my Spacious Afterthought OMG heel, and yeah, HG is the sponsor of the KAL this month, and I was very pleased. It's a very, very nice yarn. It seems like you were saying kind of like a thicker, so I would almost say that these would make good Stitch Surfers, because it's a thicker base, a more hardier base than like when I compare it to what I'm knitting. When I was knitting these, it seemed more substantial. So ta-da! That's March Self Stripies. And then I knit the, and that pattern is Partying It Up by me. And as I said, the HG Yarns, I knit a little mascot for our road trip to Illinois. So this is the Red Bird of Happiness that is based on the Blue Bird of Happiness pattern. I can't remember who it's by off the top of my head. Blue Bird of Happiness. Say that. That says abbreviations and materials required. It's a free, it's a free pattern on Ravelry called Blue Bird of Happiness, as I mentioned. And yeah, it's super cute. The pattern, or the wings, are kind of formed by, and it's free pattern, so I'm not revealing anything, by short or wrap and turns and short rows that you don't pick up the wraps. And then the head is picked up and done after thought, so you actually cast on and work down to the tail, so that you get like a nice point here at the tail, and a nice point at the beak where you're doing the sphincter gather. I like calling it sphincter. And what else was I gonna say? It had really good stuffing information. It said to make sure that you stuff the head and that you give the wings some, but not to do the tail, so that you could kind of give it a little bend downward. So this guy's gonna go with us on a road trip. And I did this out of my 716, the coordinate that I was gonna do, DK, with my son's Little Stitches hoodie. And I think this is really nice red for it, and I'm bringing this along with me, so the needles and the stuffing and this yarn. So if you're going to Knitting Pipeline and you would like to knit a little red bird, let me know, and I can give you this project bag, and you can get yourself a little red bird, and
She wants it back though.
Yes, and keep it, but it's like an hour or less to make this little guy. So
Yeah, we're all gonna be making them in the car.
yep, little red birds, little red birds. Although I don't know what the name of my little red bird is. We could be like tweet, tweet, tweet. He rocks in the treetop all the day long, hopping and bopping and singing a song. This was like a learning experience on so many levels for me, and I will articulate those levels for you. So this is my half finished object, my hoe of the end paper mitts. The gray is Silver Ring, I think, by Two Guys Yarn Co. And then I had another coordinate that was Two Guys Yarn Co. This is their standard in sock BFL, and it didn't pop.
Oh, okay.
They were both just too muted. And I don't know, up close, it's kind of like one of those magic eye things. Like up close, I really don't see the pattern as much as like if I stick my hand out and look at it, or like if I look at it in a picture, it seems really, but like I see the what's making the pattern when I look at it up close rather than the pattern it's making. So I ended up grabbing Vesper. I had a heel and toe that I had for the Vesper yarns, and this is Gin Bottle Blue. Gin Bottle. Yeah. Yep. And so
Bombay Sapphire, probably.
It looks really. I think it pops a lot more, and I had enough of it, obviously, to do the two. And yeah, so there's an interesting cast on. It's the Italian totally tubular cast on. And my daughter was having a rough day at swim lessons, and I actually cast these on at swim lessons. And she's like, swimming's just so easy for you, Mom. And I was like, I had to try really hard when I was first learning. And then, I made an analogy that this cast on, I think I cast on 7 times. And I think the issue was, it's the one where this is like your right hand is the metronome, and then you wrap with your left, and you bring it over, and then you wrap, and then you bring it back to the right, and then you wrap, and then later you bring the yarn out. If you Google, if you Dr. Google Italian tubular cast on, you'll find it. And I, for some reason, towards the end, I always got a wrap like wrong side of a previous one, and so when I unraveled it, I just had like, basically a yarn, a strand hanging between where it should have been 2 stitches. And it causes a really nice rounded, the tubular cast on, you don't have like a cast on edge. But anyway, it took me like 7 times, but once I got it, I got it. I think I prefer it. Up here, you end up doing a tubular bind off, which you separate into 2 needles, and you end up Kitchenering the 2 sides. And I think I prefer the cast on to the matching bind off, because it seemed, they're both kind of futzy, but I like the futziness of the cast on over the bind off. My only complaint on these, and I don't know, you're doing increases on the side of this purled seam, and I don't know if the purled seam is there to like help you with your tensioning, so that you don't have you ever done a purled seam in color work? I don't know why it's there.
I should go look at mine.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
There's increases on either side of this purled seam, and I just don't like the way they look. It looks kind of messy to me. I don't know if increasing for the thumb gusset ever looks really great in color work, and maybe it's just me and my tensioning. I'm getting better. I do now realize, like, when I turn, I used to have really sloppy stitches right here, and now when I turn, I'm tensioning kind of like I did with both colors instead of just the one. Like if you're working magic loop and you're getting ladders, generally you knit that first stitch, and then the second stitch you kind of tension it, like you pull in some of that slack, because the first stitch keeps you from pulling it too taut. So I'm doing that with both colors now, and I'm thinking it's looking better. But the last story about this mitt, because I feel like I've been talking about it for forever. My daughter this evening, oh, you finished that mitt? And so she takes it and she puts it on, And she just very nonchalantly goes, well, these fit me really nice, Mom. I mean, they're like full arm gloves on her, but she's like, these fit me really nice, Mom. And I was like, those do fit you nicely, Ellie. So she wants these to be hers. I don't know what a second grader needs with fingerless mitts, but and paper mitts. Cool. Yeah, I'm enjoying the Colorworks. I'm kind of semi-addicted. Like most of that got knit in one night because I was like, ooh.
Oh wow.
So after I went through the whole cast on process and then figured out after knitting a pattern repeat that I didn't really like that lighter blue, with this I zoomed. Cool. And those are my finished objects.
All right. I'm working on the skip rib sock.
Are you liking it better? As far as the patterning is showing?
Oh, I like it just fine.
Okay.
It's fine. But yeah, it's going good. I like it. Ooh, that could be a nice baby hat.
A little one, but a baby hat
Preemie.
nonetheless. Yep.
Yeah. And then again, I'm working the second one of this, but I'm just on the cuff. Not much excitement to show there. And then I also have turned a heel on my Kivit socks. And hope to zoom onto the toe and get that gone. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully this is right. I think I ended up with an extra stitch on my first pair, so I need to go back and count to make sure that that's really what happened, because I don't really want like that little bit of difference. Sometimes that just really annoys me, that the heel is just that little bit different. It'll even out at the foot because, you know, you take that extra stitch out. But and there was one more. Oh, I started RKAL. I pulled out 3 colors of Sun Valley Fiber yarn.
Nice choices.
And started to make, well, they were the what I had in MCN, so they just happened to magically blend together. This is the Mystery Knit Along for Geonitrix Josh, and it's called Greek Fire. And this is Clue 1 plus a smidge of Clue 2. Clue 3 is coming out, I think, on Friday, so I need to get my button gear if I'm going to stay with it. But there's time. I'm not too concerned with it. I was a little behind on last year's Mystery, but that was only a 2-color shawl. This one's 3. I have a feeling it's going to be massive. Yeah, but I have seen pictures of Clue 2, so I'm not too worried. Once I get set down with the pattern, I think it's going to be real fun and get done super quick. And then I will be looking for an internet connection so that I can download the latest Clue while I'm gone, I'm sure. But that is that. Yeah. That's it. That's all I have to talk about.
Okay. I am messing up my color work as I'm sitting here listening to you talk. So I have my other end paper mitt that I am enjoying. Nothing new to say above and beyond what was just said, other than I'm getting back to where I had started my mistake. Okay, and then my only other work in progress, I packed my Adventures at Yarncraft Kingfisher that is going to be some sort of self-striping something for our trip. And, I was going to mention the bird will also work for the Heartland Knits KL. She's doing a birdie KL.
Oh.
So if you're interested in making one, it's a cute little use of worsted weight yarn. And then in between, are you eating my yarn or are you licking yourself? Okay. In between working on those other things, mostly an at-home project, if I can say that because I'm not monogamously knitting, is my Heliopath vest out of Madeline Tosh vintage in the Tarte colorway. I finished up the one ball, and then I'm working on getting the second ball, and then just because I ended up in the middle of a row, I'm still alternating, just because I didn't feel like leaving one on the side and then joining them back in later. I'm like, well, it's already been joined in. 2 more ends to weave in just to be lazy and not have to alternate on the end. But I'm still very much loving it. I like how the it alternates between tight twists and then the kind of open lace work. I still haven't decided, although Amy and I talked about it, and I think that I will end up dropping the stitches if it seems like it's not going to be big enough around, because it will give it more width. And I'm adding, as I normally do, some underarm length to mine, because it's a vest and I have 800 yards. So that's all I have to say about that. I did go to Jenny's and I bought my buttons, which are perfect in every way for this. And I bought an extra button because I'm thinking with the longer length that I'm adding, that I might end up with an extra buttonhole. But
pretty.
they kind of have like a entrelac texture to them, and they, so pre-bought the buttons as I was buying the buttons for the Antwors and the Hallelujah, which have gotten sewn on so that I can take them to the morning pipeline retreat. Yes.
Motivation is clear.
Yes. It was like, I must finish these so that I can wear them. Funny story about that. I took an Instagram picture of, and this like freaked me out. Not that it should, but I took a picture of the buttons and I was trying to figure out whether or not I liked the rectangular buttons I got from my Antwors. I had them horizontally and then I put them vertically. And I took the pictures similar enough that Google added animation to them. Oh! And like auto-magically created like a thing. And so the sweaters are just sitting there and then the buttons go doot, 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 doot. And I was like, stop it! Why are you doing that to my sweaters, Google? Stop! So just a heads up, if you're staging a photo shoot and you change the orientation on your buttons, Google will add automation so that they look like they're twirling. It's fantastic.
Did not know that.
Yes. I think that they auto-added twinkle to my Christmas lights as well. Oh. Which was a little, I don't know. To me, that almost means that they know too much about what's in my pictures. But
I missed a skip.
Uh-oh.
I skipped a skip.
Uh-oh. Bummer. So those are my 2 works in progress. As I said, I'll probably have another work in progress, something mindless. I learned the last retreat I went to that even if I think I'm going to accomplish something wonderfully complicated. Well, the Heliopath vest is really nice, but it's there's lace on both sides. So I have to pay attention to what I'm doing. Not that I can't do it in my sleep now. Like, I've got the pattern memorized and I realize what I'm doing and how to read my knitting and figure out where I should be, but I still think that I'll probably just blow past something and I'll end up with like the 3rd cabled section where I didn't want one or something.
Yep. So. I plan on bringing my spindle. I have a feeling a lot of things will get done on the spinning. Or at least that's my hope. And then car stuff will be all that I have now, nothing new cast on.
Yeah.
I would like to have lots of faux when I'm done, because that'll be a lot of car time.
Yeah.
I mean, not huge amounts, but...
I always think I'm going to get a lot done, and then I think I talk too much with my hands while we're driving, and you're driving, you're sharing the driving. Gosh, my phone is digging into my hip. So, it is, I always think, it's like anything. I think
we're always optimistic that we're going to do something.
Tons. Like, I can't remember. I think we went to Denver for our anniversary one time, and I literally packed like 3 garment quantities worth of projects, right? Because we're going to be flying in, and then we're going to be driving around, and then we're not going to have the kids, and then I was like, what was I thinking? There's no possible way I was going to even get through one of these. How did I think that I was going to get through 3? But it's a scary feeling to be somewhere and not have knitting, right?
Yes.
So like
I forgot it on Monday going into work.
Yeah.
That bus ride took a whole lot longer because I didn't have it.
Yeah. So like I don't know. I'm cool with overpacking as long as I never have to be like, I wish I had my knitting.
Yes. That would also be a very odd thing to forget.
For a knitting retreat?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody would like remedy that immediately for us, but at the same time, like, oh, those projects sitting at home, getting twitchy. But yeah, that's all I had.
Yep, me too.
I don't have enabling. I don't have. Yeah.
We
It'd be exciting.
It's that extra day that makes us have lots to talk about. Apparently, I don't know. This has been a 6-day week.
Yes,
so.
this is true. But I wanted
100 days till the retreat.
Yeah, that's what somebody told me.
100 days.
A little birdie whispered in my ear.
Woo!
Big flashy sign, actually, but you know.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd bring up the bag again.
Okay.
Just show people what they can order. This is what it would look like if you didn't want the retreat on it. Minus the cat fur. Because my mom doesn't have a cat.
Your cat fits in that.
Yes, she loves it. She thinks it's her new cat bed. And she'd be wrong. But we let her
There are anyway. Cats on sofas, right?
Yeah. Yes, my mom did the sofa print, and then you can see that she added a little Max to the bottom of it. So
yeah.
If you wanted to go just to check out the addition that my mom made to the graphic to add Max. Yes, she did. She added you.
Yeah.
Did you feel special?
Max had an interesting morning. We had some water in our basement. They just laid in it, which is odd cat behavior in my opinion, but they just decided that if there's water, we're just going to sit in it. So they came upstairs and we were like, what is wrong with you guys?
Why are you wet?
Yeah, why are you all wet? Because we wanted to sit in it. They must have been playing in it. Are you playing in the waters? So yeah, nothing changed on that front either.
Nobody. Lots of things are still. Lots of things still just going on. If you haven't received an email from us about getting involved, let us know because we sent out a doozy. It has
so many links.
Yeah, lots of links to how you can get involved in different things. The excursions, the bags that you can buy, the shirts. Are the shirts done? Not yet.
No. End of March. Or premature, like it's not the exact end. It's like March 27th or something like that. So but that was in the email, and that I believe it's also in the Acme. You are noisy. The Acme website as well, but that's out there. Get those whilst you can.
Yeah.
Roommates, hopefully we're going to get the confirmation numbers for your rooms here in short order.
We need to poke somebody at the hotel.
Yep.
We're sure that they've been done. They just haven't sent them to us.
Yeah. And they were reserving the rooms for us anyway, but your official names are on there now. And yeah. We hope to have lots to talk about next week. We're so excited to meet everybody. I'm not optimistic that you're probably, if you're going, you're probably packing just like we are tomorrow, so you might not watch us. But please make sure that at any event, not just the Knitting Pipeline, if you know us and or want to talk to us, you may recognize our faces, but we might not recognize yours unless you've posted a picture, somewhere where we know you. We'll probably know your Ravelry name, maybe not so much your in real life name or what you look like. So come up and say hello.
Yep.
I'm a hugger.
I'll have this conversation. Lots of things to give away. Yep.
And I'm bringing some coupons for free patterns. So if you see me and I haven't run out, come up and say hey.
Yeah. Limited
swag me. Because we'll have lots with us. So
that's it. Bye.
Bye, Uvta.